Hello, my name is Jumbles Austin Gaming, and thank you for listening or watching N.G.N.R. 94.7. Welcome back to the A.G.L. Welcome back. What can I say? It's a wonderful time. It's preseason. And so it'll be interesting to see how they play. So first off, let's talk about the management. Jay Austin, not related of course, is the general manager. He's a very young GM at 26 years old, zero experience. But he has a lot of knowledge. He's very enthusiastic. He's very charismatic. I will say that. He's very charismatic. No relation, of course. No relation to the radio/YouTube guy. To the charismatic GM. No, definitely not at all. He makes about $1 million a year, which is way less than the rest of the staff. Then you have... I never wish ill will on a coach. But is that supposed to be one word? Because if so... I mean, it took me a second. I know how to pronounce it now. But as one word, it makes it look a lot more intimidating. He's been coaching for 10 years. He's got a decent reputation. There's a lot of concern about Steven de los Santos. Steven de los Santos. That should be 3 words, not... Well, there should be a space between D and Los, and then Los and Santos. De los Santos. Can that be a one-word last name? I don't know. He's a former college coach. And so some of the friends of the station have actually done a report for me. And it's beautiful. And they did a star system, which is lovely. Thank you guys so much. He's not very known for developing players. College, you only get 4 years, so that makes sense. He's not very good at attention to detail. Not very good with youngsters. He's alright at training people physically. Quarterbacks, skill positions, special teams, He's okay with offensive line and linebackers, though. He's great morale. He's very flexible. Pretty good at the whole motivating thing. Pretty charismatic. I'd say really charismatic, even. He's a decent leader. He's not very loyal. He's not a very good scout. He's better at ability than potential, which... Well, we'll do one on Jay Austin, which makes it fun. He's okay at the whole offense thing. He's actually a good, or at least above average defensive coach, I would say. They gave him a 3.5 stars, which is pretty good. But for a head coach, you'd hope for more, especially a head coach for a new league. His preparation isn't amazing, but let's go to the GM, who there's a lot of high hopes for. He got 4 stars on communication, 2 on management, 1 on negotiation, 3.5 on persuasion. He likes trading. He's an intelligent, super loyal. He said that he does not want to move. He wants to start a family, so he does not want to be moving constantly. So that's a good thing, unless he starts to suck, in which case, oh no. He's got pretty good leadership, not gonna lie. He's very charismatic. His scouting is okay. His ability, he's not good at scouting how good a player currently is, but he's very good at seeing what their potential is, what they can develop into. He's very good at finding those hidden gems, per se. Then we have offensive coordinator William Eastman, who, very experienced coach. He's been coaching for 16 years, which is crazy because before that, he was a player. Not a pro player, just a player. He kind of just happened on. Same with Christopher Jackson, but we'll get to him. But let's go back to our GM. I find it very interesting. At his age, I think there's a lot of potential. we could have him for a very long time, which is nice. Interesting thing to talk about is Steven De Los Santos's offensive, defensive, and general preferences. So, thanks to my sources, Steven De Los Santos runs a pass-heavy, which is nice, West Coast hybrid offense. He likes running from 3 wide receiver sets. It's about taking what the defense gives you in the passing game. According to De Los Santos, he prefers to have different types of receivers to have a flexible passing game. By the way, completely okay with that. That fits our scheme quite well. I think Steven De Los Santos fits this scheme decently. He runs a 4-3. The defense revolves around the linebackers. I would prioritize D-line, but okay. He prefers mixing up coverage. He aims to shut down the passing game, making the opponent one-dimensional. The defensive line's primary role is rushing the passer. That fits, however. To fit his scheme, linebackers must be sure tacklers who can help shut down the run. Yeah, I'd say Steven De Los Santos will be a good head coach for this scheme. Steven De Los Santos preaches flexibility on both offense and defense, focusing on what the situation demands. He adapts his demeanor to the situation and does whatever he thinks it takes to get through to his players and coworkers. Our offensive coordinator, William Eastman, runs a run-first power hybrid offense. That's not going to fit our scheme, so I don't think he'll last long. Eastman prefers running up the middle. It's about taking what the defense gives you in the passing game. According to Eastman, he likes receivers who can stretch the field. Well, that'll help. We got those kind of guys. William Eastman favors a D3-3-5 hybrid defense. Likes to mix up offense, switching between aggressive and conservative styles. He loves football, and it really shows that this is his dream job. His eagerness to discuss all aspects of the game is infectious as an organization. Honestly, it sounds like these two should be switched. William Eastman as the head coach, and then Steven De Los Santos as the coordinator. Because I really like how our guy is. He's very charismatic, very loyal, very good at assessing potential, like elite levels. He's pretty good with the offensive line. He's pretty good with physical. I think he's an okay coach. I think he'll be fine. Then we have Christopher Jackson, who's pretty good with both the line and linebackers. Very flexible, pretty good leadership, pretty great. I'd say one of the best defensive coaches in football. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. He runs a pass-heavy power hybrid offense, which is very odd, but you know what, whatever. He runs a 3-4 hybrid defense. His system requires top-notch cornerbacks. Features primarily zone coverage. He aims to shut down the passing game, making sure they're one-dimensional. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with the scheme of a 3-4 hybrid, but with the talent, at least. But I get it. Christopher Jackson wants to stay unpredictable on defense, favoring a balanced approach. Professionalism is the key for him. He demands accountability from everyone around him. A lot of these hidden gem players, or hopefully hidden gem players, rather, will be fit right in at home with him. Because a lot of the later rounds were drafted for that reasoning, and I think that's why. Alright, for the news, season predictions and game of the week. The Seaford Statesmen versus the Sanford Sailors. Jeremy Piper says head coach Ross Kelly does a great job getting them prepared every week. This week will be no different, as he says the Seaford will win. Mary Moore says Sanford Sailors will win. You heard it here first. Jim Knox says Seaford, and he says definitely the losing streak is on their mind. There's none. They will get the win and break. Unless... Oh, you know what he's talking about. He's probably talking about the draft. He must not be a big fan of the Seaford draft. Anyways, the Sanford Sailors. The Sailors have really strong team play. You look at the player like Ernest Navarro, free safety, and what he does for a team. He makes everyone around him better. It may come down to the wire, though. The Associated Sports Journalists Association, that's a lot of association, associated, has published results of this year's division prediction polls among their 20 top sports journalists. The Eastern have Sanford Sailors with 10 votes, with the runner-up being the Hardyville Hounds with 6 votes, while the Western is going to go to the Salt Lake City Stampede with 11 votes, with the runner-up being the Boulder City Bighorns. Also, is it Bighorn or Bighorns? Oh yeah, I believe that's a typo. I believe it is supposed to be Bighorns. There we go. Let me see if the website has any more of the typos. Rivermen, Miners, Gunner, Stampede, Bighorns, Bison, Colonials, Ambitions, Sailors, Hounds, Orbit, Statesmen. Alright, and through the first week, we have the Meridian Miners win 27-17. And week 2 of the preseason, the Meridian Miners win 45-42. Okay, and we will be doing this and this. There we go, and they have announced the training schedules, strategies, and everything to be determined. Steven De Los Santos will be in charge of both offense and defense, although yeah, we're gonna have to see. It'll be interesting. They're gonna focus on passing, and they're gonna be fast-paced. They're definitely going to be more balanced. I think they're gonna pass a lot outside, but I think it's gonna be very balanced. I think their main receiver is gonna be Thomas McFadden. Running focus will be from 3 wide receiver sets. Running backs will focus on catching. Backfield will be bell cow. Tight ends will be focusing on catching. Quarterback tuck and run often. They're going to be balanced focus. They're going to be focusing on the pass, coverage, zone, defensive line, pass rush, linebackers, mixed. Player radio, to be determined. Align man coverage, balanced. Winning, they're going to be running more, and then losing, they're going to be doing pass only. Or pass more, rather. So the question is, who will be the captain, per se, of this team? Because that's going to be the real question, is who leads this team? Could it be Russell Brown? I think Russell Brown very much could be the leader of this team. Could it be... Apologies. Not Russell. Could it be Raymond Warren? Or could it be Kenny Barnes? And from what I'm hearing, it's going to be Raymond Brown. So for the playbooks, it's going... Steven De Los Santos will be the defensive player caller. And it sounds like it's going to be Steven De Los Santos will be not necessarily calling the plays, but he definitely gets the control of what the playbook will be. And it'll be interesting to see how much they throw the ball, because they do say they like to throw the ball. So that's going to be something that'll be interesting. So, the depth chart. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? It sounds like it's going to be Moore. It sounds like Moore's going to be the starting quarterback. With it's going to be interesting. So, Ashmore versus Christmas will be the big question for backup running back. And I think they're going to go with... I think they're going to go with Christmas. Christmas has better hands. He matches the scheme better. He's a better overall player. But I think that's very up for debate on if he'll actually get it. Christmas is also going to be the backup fullback, I believe is what they said. McFadden will be the receiver 1, Baldwin receiver 2. Posey might get receiver 3 responsibilities, interestingly enough. Which blows my mind. They have Davidson at receiver 1. They have Burns at backup receiver 1, 2, and 3. They have him as backup 3 and third string 1 and 2. It's a very interesting situation this is going to be. McFadden. Davidson will also be the backup, or the 4th tight end on the list. Harmon will be the left tackle, while right tackle will be Tracy. Magnuson and N.G.N.R. And then McLeod is a backup. And then Newman and Wilson. Standard stuff. Interestingly enough, if we go to 4 wide graphics, they'll have John Posey in the slot with Lowell Davidson in the slot as well, and John Posey and Lewis Baldwin on the outsides, which I could really see, and I in fact quite like that idea. Get the big old receivers on the outsides and let the speed demon, or rather, get the speed demon on one side, the big Moss type on the outside, and then get McFadden and Lowell Davidson, who are very shifty, to be in the slots. That's what I meant to say. For shotgun, it will be Lewis Baldwin with Thomas McFadden in the slot, and then John Posey in the outside. I don't really mind the setup. They're really making McFadden into a slot receiver, which is interesting. Ed Laney will be the slot receiver if they go spread. The second slot receiver. Which, do I trust Posey or Laney to be the better slot receiver? I really don't know. John Posey is going to be interesting because he's not very agile, so they're going to want him on the outside a lot. In fact, that's why I think there's 4 wide. They have John Posey on the outside. I think that's why. And then they have Lowell Davidson and Thomas McFadden. In a normal spread, though, they have Posey outside, Laney on the slot, McFadden. I think that makes more sense. Laney's more shifty for a tight end, and Posey's more speed-based. So that you'll have John Posey, who's a blazing fast tight end, and then Lewis Baldwin, who's a blazing fast receiver. I really like the concepts they have there. So, really the main question will be, what are they going to do? So, from what we've seen, the Miners have ran 89 pass plays for 5.5 yards per play. That's the average gain. And 38 runs for 5 yards a run. When they pass on first down, they gain 5.7. When they pass on second down, they get 6.5 on average. And third down, they get 3.3. So on third downs, they don't do as well. Second down is their money down for throwing, which makes sense to me. For running, it's 5, 2.7, and 8.9. They do not run well on second down. They've run pretty dang well in the first down, and third down, because no one's expecting it, they are running quite well. So, here is how they do against certain defenses with certain plays. Counter left against 3-4 defense. It's a 2-yarder. Counter left versus quarters defense, 7 yards, which makes sense. And a bunch of statistical mumbo jumbo. And so, it's going to be interesting. In terms of news, there's no major news. There was just the draft picks. Everyone should have their picks. We have the camp reports here. But here we go. The first week is here. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited. Meridian football is here.
If I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. And I don't wanna fight with you.